Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier, the DRFBets Race of the Day for Sunday, May the 26th, the Grade 2 Summertime Oaks. We're going a mile and a 16th at Santa Anita. We are kicking off a pick 4 wager at Santa Anita, and let's take a look at this small but select field. You can access free formulator past performances for the Summertime Oaks on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post position order, beginning with the number 1, My Majestic Rose, who has not run a poor race since blinkers were added to the equation. The Beyer's speed figures are going the right way, and she's coming into this race off a confidence-building win at Churchill Downs. Did you think the wet track had something to do with her breakout performance last time?
Initially when I looked at it, I said, well, it's hard to ignore the fact that her only win to date came over a wet track. But at the same time, as you alluded to, she really hasn't run poorly since having blinkers added in each of these last 3 starts. So I think she's a filly that continues to trend the right direction. From a pedigree standpoint, an extra 16th of a mile shouldn't be a big issue. I'm a little bit more curious about how she's going to handle 2 turns because she's only done it 1 time. And again, it was before the blinkers and it was before a bit of a layoff. So maybe you don't want to hold that race against her. She's just another one, though. And here, look, this field's not loaded with superstars. I wouldn't talk anybody off anyone, but I don't happen to love her.
The last time Keeneland grad Bizwax, the number 2, raced at Santa Anita, it was over a wet track, but it was a very visually appealing performance where she just tracked the lone pace setter, inhaled that horse, and was a ridden-out winner, the runner-up coming back to win her very next start. Since then, she is graded stakes placed. I'm willing to give her the 8 bells. I think 7 furlongs is a little short. I think that track was a little too wet for her. But after 11 lifetime starts, do you think she's been a little bit exposed and she's now at that level of low 70s, high 80 buyer, and she'll have to run faster to win this race?
Yeah, I feel like you know what you're getting here. You're probably going to get that 79 or 80 buyer somewhere in there. The distance shouldn't be an issue for her. To me, the most likely scenario is settling for a minor award, but it's a scenario where, as you made mention, she's already graded stakes placed. There's nothing wrong with getting another one, cashing some money in here. I don't know that I view her as a main win threat in here. Wouldn't be a stunner. Again, it's only a 5-horse field, but I kind of think you know what you got here.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector. So important in these short fields. You really want to be up close if there is not an expected hot pace. Timeform US believes the pace will be fair. Sneaking out should be the pace setter. This filly is stretching out. She has finished first in her last 4 races. Was kind of the victim of a controversial disqualification last time out in that Angel's Flight Stakes. All things considered, I thought she ran great that day, pressing a fast pace in between horses, taking over. Yes, she was getting out a little bit in the stretch, but I always thought she had the measure of that runner-up. And from a pedigree standpoint, as this is her first 2-turn race, the dam won 4 outs, and she's a half to one of your favorites, Grecian Fire, who could go a 2-turn mile at least.
Absolutely. I don't think the distance is a problem for a horse like this. And you brought it up. She's coming into this in raging form, an unlucky disqualification in that most recent run. I look at it and say, highest last out buyer in the field, highest last out raw time form rating. She's close to a hot pace. In a race like this, there's probably not going to be anyone up there going that fast with her. She could very well get out there, shake loose on the front end, and be very tough to run down.
The sleeper in this race could be the number 4. That is Colonial Creed, who we have sitting in a very nice position, second after the first half mile, according to Timeform US. I think this filly has done some very good work on the turf. She is a half-sister to Mo D'Amour, who is a stakes winner going long on the dirt, so she has the pedigree. She has the tactical speed. Distance isn't going to be an issue, but do you think the surface switch will be a problem?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where do I think she's going to be at her best on the dirt? No, I feel like they would have run her on that at some point through 7 lifetime starts if they thought that's what she really wanted. But I do look at this as an opportunity. You're already stakes placed on turf. If you hit the board here, you're going to be graded stakes placed on dirt. I don't know that I love the way this race sets up for her on paper. I understand, based on the pace projector, she sits a beautiful stalking trip. Both wins have come in gate-to-wire fashion, and I don't think she's going to be fast enough to make the front in a race like this unless the 3, for some reason, takes back, which I just don't see happening. Colonial Creed, I think the connections would be thrilled if she hit the board here. And again, we talk about it so often. Black type for these fillies goes a long way. If your stakes placed on grass and graded stakes on dirt, she's going to be all set going forward.
Let's take a look at our top selections for Sunday's DRFBets Race of the Day. You're going with a filly that is already Grade 1 placed. That is Fleur de la Mar, who was kind of thrown to the wolves. Nice confident placing by Bob Baffert, running her against Bellafina off a loss in an optional claiming race. She did just fine against the good Bellafina that day. And then the Kentucky Oaks, that was probably a little bit too steep. More of a reality check in this spot.
I think the other thing, too, with that Oaks race, Kentucky Oaks anyway, you're right, probably a little bit overmatched in there, but the start didn't help her cause. She was bounced in between horses, and I think she was just behind the 8-ball from jump. It's a scenario where it'll be interesting to see where she's positioned beneath Smith, because I think she wants to be a little bit more forward. Now, I don't know that you want to get into any sort of a prolonged duel. I could see a scenario where if Colonial Creed is fast enough to go with the 3-horse early on, sneaking out, maybe you end up having Fleur de la Mar take up that sort of 3-wide stalking trip going into the first turn. You take your chances rounding the far turn. You hope you're just better than everyone else. I suppose the jury is still out, but they have always thought highly of this filly, and her debut was really, really strong. I think this is going to be her best opportunity to run back to that race yet.
I concur about your trip analysis. I think she is going to sit that 3-wide tracking trip with every chance under Mike Smith as they swing into the stretch, but I'm hoping that Sneaking Out can shake away from the number 4 Colonial Creed, that her dirt speed is just more than the turf speed that Colonial Creed has shown thus far. I think she can get the distance. I like what I've seen from Sneaking Out. Maybe she can steal this race on the front end. Give me numbers.
5-3 for me.
I'm going to go with Sneaking Out. I'm curious to see if My Majestic Rose can continue her climb. Maybe she's a horse that you could use underneath in single race exotics. Approximate post time for the Grade 2 Summertime Oaks, your Sunday DRF Bets Race of the Day, 3:30 Pacific. Good luck.